relationships. Of course.
You ready for the video?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Conscious practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
Jamie Len.
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
Why relationships fail. Mouni Roy asks Sadhguru.
My name is V. I'm an aspiring yogi, love all things meditation, yoga, and wisdom based. Super grateful to have
Jamie Len Beulah.
On the show. Want to introduce yourself?
So I am a relationship therapist, actually. I work with people around sexuality and love.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And with that,
Let's get into the video.
My question is complexities of any relationship. Why do they, beyond a point, become complex? Whether it's between girlfriends, whether it's between boyfriends, and especially relationship between a girlfriend and a boyfriend and husband-wife.
Namaskaram, Mouni. So you are beginning to taste the sourness of relationships. Of course, everybody knows the sweetness of relationships too. But there is also a lot of sourness. Unfortunately today, we have imbibed this from the West again, that if you utter the word relationship, people are generally thinking of body-based relationships, or in some way, it has to be between a man and a woman or whatever else, but essentially body-based relationship. No, relationships can be of many kinds. If they're body-based relationships, usually the excitement about each other's body will die after some time. What you thought was ultimate is not ultimate after some time. It is natural that you begin to grow out of it. Then, when the main draw which brought people together is kind of melting away, without knowing why, they start being unpleasant to each other. Because essentially, such a relationship is towards extracting sweetness from another person, extracting happiness from another person. So if you try to squeeze joy out of somebody, after some time you find when it doesn't yield the same results as it used to yield in the beginning, some bitterness will begin. It is important, when you're young, certain things may happen as you start growing older. When I say older, from yesterday to today, you're older. I'm not saying you're old, Mouni, I'm just saying from yesterday to today, you're a little older. So today, you must be thinking in terms of that relationships that you hold in your life, not necessarily in terms of biological relationships, any kind of relationship that you hold, if relationship is based on your expression of joy, not on extraction of joy, for this, you must become joyful by your own nature first of all. If you focus on this, that you are an exuberant overflow of joy, if it is so, and your relationship is only about sharing this, then you don't have to worry about the normal circus that people go through in terms of relationships. Managing relationships means, in day-to-day life, a relationship may not stay just in one area of life. Once people are together, they will have to share many things. Naturally, you will start stepping on each other's toes for many small things that happen. Because of this, there will be many interactions, or you can even call them altercations. They will happen. All this you cannot manage on a daily basis. People think they can manage, after some time you will see you cannot manage. So the best thing is to manage yourself in such a way that you are a natural, exuberant, joyful being. If this is so, relationships will happen. And relationships will not be need-based. When relationships are need-based, if what you need does not come, you will start cribbing, you will start complaining, and you will start feeling bitter that what you are supposed to get, you are not getting. If you eliminate this need within you, that you are a natural overflow of joy, If this one thing you do, you can have fabulous relationship with every kind of people, irrespective of who they are. They don't have to be your kind. With all sorts of people, you can hold wonderful relationships. May you have the most beautiful relationships in your life.
So Jamie Lynn, what'd you think after your first reaction?
I love what he said about if you get into relationship to extract happiness from another person, then you are going to eventually become bitter. I love that. I think it's brilliant.
I agree with that, and it's a really cool perspective, right, on relationships, not typical from what I hear. And he also talked about being as self-focused, because I've seen a lot. I mean, you are a relationship therapist, is that correct?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so from my limited experience here, I've seen, just whether it's through friends or people of other friends, and people that tend to have some sort of void and they're seeking, let's say, this partnership or relationship. They tend to be very overly attached in those situations if they're coming from a place of void. How do you feel about that perspective?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I would say, like, people fall into different categories. There's the folks who are looking for a relationship to fill a void. There's the folks who are really looking for a specific kind of comfort in a relationship. And when you actually end up in a relationship, you learn it's not always comfortable. A lot of the time it's really hard. And so then it falls apart because it was too much work. And I find that most people fall into one of those two categories. There are other reasons, but like the dismissive sort, the preoccupied sort, those are pretty common.
Love that. And do you ever find yourself also sharing a similar perspective with, let's say, people that you give therapy to, about like focusing on yourself? Is that ever something that you incorporate?
That is what I call a buy-in conversation that I have with every single new couple I see, where they come in and the work that they want me to do is fix my partner. And the buy-in conversation is, look, I have no idea whether or not they're going to want to change the things that you want them to change. Would you like to work on your side of things and becoming less reactive, and maybe when there's more space in your nervous system, you'll be able to respond differently?
That was also very cool to hear. I love that. I also agree with that too. It's so easy for us to blame the external, but at the end, it's important to realize that starts within. And it's also cool because I've heard Sadhguru talk about this, which is the idea that people, for example, in relationships suffer, people not in relationships suffer, people with jobs suffer, people without jobs suffer, people with kids suffer, people without kids suffer. So it's not about these external things that we think so often. It's about the internal, and I think it is tough to accept, though. Would you say that's kind of hard as well in terms of what people deal with, accepting that first step?
Oh, absolutely. Because we live, at least here in the US, we live in a culture that tells people that you're supposed to feel good all the time. And if you don't feel good, there's either something wrong with you or something wrong with what's going on. And most people point to the what's going on first rather than looking here.
Exactly. And would you agree with him on the idea that a lot of, let's say, modern day relationships are very body-based? And how do you feel about that?
I think that a lot are. I can think of a few people who I've met where it's really not, but most get into relationship because of like turn on and passion, and you're so exciting and attractive to me. And that does fade. And it can come back, like it does a wave throughout relationships where there
Would you say for most people it does, once it goes, or is it a mix of coming back?
For most couples, if they stay together, it's going to be a wave. There will be dips where we're not super attracted to each other. There'll be peaks where we're attracted to each other like before. And it goes up and down. I don't know if it's ever as strong as the very early honeymoon phase, because the amount of dopamine that is running through our system is insane. It's like taking Coke. Whenever they put people in brain scanners and they show just like a microsecond flash of this person that they've been with for weeks, it's like a hit
Literally.
of cocaine. Yeah, literally.
Wow. Well, with that being said, and that made perfect sense, what's your advice to, let's say, people that are in these relationships right now? I know, it's probably a big general question, but let's say in a relationship that's trying to get over a relationship. So what's your advice to someone, watching right now?
Trying to get over a relationship? Well, hello, I'm getting over a relationship. My 4-year relationship just ended like 2 weeks ago. So I am currently doing that. And the biggest thing to be aware of is your part. And what did I do? And when I tell people to think about that, like, what did you do that was right? Not just what did you do that might have ended the relationship, but what did you do that was really right? And then what did you not do in terms of like, this is this other person's stuff. This has nothing to do with me. The fact that they left is their stuff.
Great advice. Thank you so much for being here. I think you shared some amazing perspectives. This is super helpful, I think, just for the viewers as well. And want to share with the viewers where they can find you?
Yeah, so I am at jamielinbula.com. That is my website. And then I also have a YouTube channel here, Practice Intimacy, where you can learn tips, tools, all things about love, sex, and relationship.
Yeah, check her out. She's super sweet. All of her stuff will be down below. Also, if you have any other video reaction requests, topics, or guests that you want to see on the show, you can also comment down below. With that, make your great day. Take this joyfully and stay conscious. Awesome job. You did great.
Thank you.
Awesome.